When your dad is on the sports entertainment Mount Rushmore, it's going to be a unique ride.
That's Cody Rhodes right there. That's Dusty's boy.
He always wanted to be like that.
To create your own path is extremely difficult.
His NXT kids can be his kids, but I'm one of his actual kids.
How do you not let him call himself Cody Rhodes?
That makes sense. Maddening. I knew I had to get out.
If you build it, they will come.
Vince McMahon flew to his house to get him back. I don't know how many people can say they did that.
The fresh start for the American Nightmare. Get a dream, hold on to it, and shoot for the gas.
This is my one request. I don't want edited in any capacity. Don't even edit this part.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Classic Chronicles. And today I'm going to be talking about the brand new WWE documentary, Becoming Cody Rhodes. And as you can tell by the title, this is the journey of WWE superstar and international sensation Cody Rhodes. This documentary covers his whole story essentially, from coming up as the son of the legendary Dusty Rhodes, and stepping out of having a huge chip on his shoulder, being the son of Dusty Rhodes, and having a very successful older brother in the wrestling business, Dustin Rhodes, who you wrestling fans may know as Goldust, and before that the natural Dustin Rhodes and stuff like that. So coming from a very, very wrestling oriented family, Cody had a very huge chip on his shoulder. It talks about him coming into WWE as a relatively young rookie, and I think he was 21 years old at the time that he came into WWE, and then working with his father, and and then trying to step out of the shadow of his very famous father and become his own man, and goes through his various character incarnations from just being Cody Rhodes to being in the group Legacy with Randy Orton and Ted DiBiase Jr., all second generation superstars, and then from that to dashing Cody Rhodes, and everything in between, man. And then the developing the character Stardust to kind of reinvent himself, because that's the key to this wrestling business, man. You can't be a certain character for too long, or portray a certain character. Either if you're a baby face, you gotta maybe turn heel to freshen things up, or vice versa. And Cody did that by developing the character Stardust, but eventually when he wanted to reinvent himself again because he felt the character was becoming stagnant, WWE wouldn't let him, and that eventually led to his frustration and him exiting the company. And in his words, if he could have done it differently, he would have. Just learning from that experience, and then being on the indies after he had been in WWE for 7 years at that point. 9 years at that point, I should say. What do you call it? And then his experience on the indies, and how he made a list of people that he wanted to wrestle, and getting that done, and then forming and being a part of AEW, which is another rival wrestling company of WWE. He talks about that journey, and you know, and I'm surprised, like, being the big star that he is, you know, he was able to talk about it openly and candidly, you know. Normally WWE doesn't allow, you know, you to talk about what you did before them or during your time away from them. They just want to cover. They just want you to cover the time that you were in WWE, but Cody was able to talk about AEW and what went wrong, and you know, why he sort of give a reason why he left, and so if you're definitely a fan of Cody Rhodes, you will enjoy this, man. And then he talks about his decision to come back to WWE to finish you know, his story, man. So basically, Dusty never won the WWF Championship, and there's a picture of Dusty Rhodes taking on superstar Billy Graham in Madison Square Garden, where he's holding up the title, but he didn't actually win it. And Cody always, you know, said to himself that he was going to kind of fulfill the prophecy of, you know, winning the WWE Championship and then presenting it to his father and saying, you know, you can't, nobody can take that away from you now. But unfortunately, he didn't get the chance to do that because Dusty Rhodes tragically passed away in 2014. So he didn't get to do that. But you know, and then he talks about, you know, him being a little bit jealous of the NXT roster at that time, because the NXT was kind of Dusty's baby and Dusty's pet project, and you know, all the guys that came up through there, you know, from Seth Rollins to Kevin Owens to Becky Lynch to Bayley to just everybody, Finn Balor, you know, Dusty considered them his kids, and you know, Cody was like, yeah, you know, they may be his kid. He may have considered them his kids, but you know, I'm his actual kid, you know. And so he kind of felt like he was being pushed to the side there, you know. And you know, I understand that. And then, you know, getting back to him finishing his story now with you know, wanting to win the WWE World Universal Heavyweight Championship from Roman Reigns at this past WrestleMania, man. It just goes over everything, you know, his return and what he was feeling and what Vince said to him and what he wanted from Vince, and he said that, you know, he had branded himself the American Nightmare on the Indies and everywhere else that he went. And he said that, you know, that is a big part of his brand. That is his brand, as a matter of fact. And he said, for me to come back to WWE, I have to, that has to stay with me. And you know, Vince gave him everything that he wanted. And you know, and then, you know, coming back to WWE and having that match with Roman Reigns, like I said, and then losing that match, it goes over that, and then it goes over the torn pectoral muscle that kept him out for 8 months. You know, he had a freak accident weight training for his match against Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell in June of last June. Not this June that just passed, the previous June of 2022. He talks about that and what he had to go through to come back from that, and you know, wrestling through the injury, because I'm sure if you're a wrestling fan, and unless you've been living under a rock, man, you've seen the gruesome injury that Cody Rhodes had to deal with. He wrestled a 25-minute match with Seth freaking Rollins, and with a torn pectoral muscle. And you know, the reason why he was able to do that was because normally if you have an injury like that, WWE is not going to let you wrestle under any circumstances. But Cody, you know, begged them to wrestle. He said, we're in the main event, and this had been advertised, and he had, you know, this happened like 2 weeks before the match was supposed to take place, and you know, he had torn it up to the point where you can't do any. He couldn't do any more damage to it, so it couldn't get any worse than it already got. So he was able to somehow wrestle the match and get through it, and have surgery, and then come back, win the Royal Rumble, and then head to WrestleMania. And man, it just covers everything. You know, his relationship with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, and you know, getting to experience, like not experience, getting to experience All In, but you know, creating All In and what led to that, and you know, how he was feeling at the time. And it's just a very, very well done documentary, and you hear from the people that know him best. You know, his mom, and you know, Triple H and Hulk Hogan and Undertaker and Kurt Angle and his wife Brandy, and then you know, just everybody that knows him best, and it's very well done. And also there's sound, there's clips of from there's clips where Dusty talks about Cody, and you know, he's saying, I know how good my son is. What is WWE not seeing in him? You know, like I alluded to before, him feeling frustrated with his position on the roster in the early 2010s and everything like that. So it's very, very well done. If you're a fan of Cody and a fan of professional wrestling, man, just check it out. Becoming Cody Rhodes. It's on Peacock right now. You will not be disappointed. Yeah, so that is gonna do it for this episode of the Classic Chronicles. Like, subscribe, share. Don't forget to hit that notification button so you don't miss a video. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.